You don't know me that well, so I thought I would jumpstart our relationship with some crucial information. The kind of information that might take months or years for you to get access to. Feel free to reference the information you learn about me in future conversations. I've created some slides and illustrations for you to follow along with. I can run pretty fast. When I was young, I used to think that running really fast would get boys to like me. I would think, just you wait till gym class. Things are gonna change. In high school, I learned this hack that acting dumb and aloof actually impressed boys more. They don't like it when you are hyper-aware and making intense eye contact. Now I've come back around and think that speed is the key. I think I might have a reading out loud learning disability. Like, I can read out loud and you will understand me, but I don't think either of us will have a great time. I'm gonna read an excerpt for you, but I made some illustrations for you to follow along with so that you pay less attention to my reading. The walls weren't moving and the room was open, gaping. No colors but shades of darkness of night. Only the star-flecked violet eyes were bright, full of color and light. He gave me a lazy smile before he leaned forward. I pulled away, but his hands were like shackles. I could do nothing as his mouth met with my cheek and he licked away a tear. His tongue was hot against my skin, so startling that I couldn't move as he licked away another path of salt water, and then another. My body went taut and loose at the same time. Loose all at once, and I burned even as chills shuddered along my limbs. It was only when his tongue danced along the damp edges of my lashes that I jerked back. He chuckled as he scrambled for the corner of the cell. I wiped my face as I glared at him. He smirked, sitting down against a wall. I figured that would get you to stop crying. I like science as art, but I don't really give a frick about science as science. Like, I believe and support scientific research, but I don't think it's actually that hard to do, like, mentally. I know that you're trying to figure out the cosmos and the inner workings of the body and the microscopic things that go inside of us and infect us, but mental health-wise, I think it's way harder to make something that nobody cares about. Do you know how hard it is to make something that nobody cares about? Somebody once told me that if you keep making art past the age of 30, then you're kind of in the good. Like, you will keep making creative stuff for the rest of your life. It's really easy to drop off right after art school and never make art again, but once you're past the 30 threshold, you're maybe in the good. I am past the 30 thresholds. However, I still have horrible life trauma that could stop me, and I still have bearing an offspring that could stop me. So, keep checking in on me, please. I told my mom to plant a mulberry tree for my future children, and she still hasn't done it yet. I like thinking about alternative pregnancies, and I think it would be fun to give birth to a litter of kittens. Something that people comment often on my videos is that I'm so random, or I'm just quirky, or a strange girl, and actually I find this very offensive. So if you're thinking that in your head, I think you need to really reflect. I'm not random, I actually really care about these things, and here's the proof. I made a video where I was a pregnant Ferris wheel, and I had a baby Ferris wheel in my stomach and it moved a little bit. When I give birth to this Ferris wheel, people will think I'm crazy, cool, and they will like me. I'm gonna get friends, I'm gonna get fame, I'm gonna get you sleeping next to me. Here are some ceramics I've made of pregnant airplanes. Here is an illustration of Moses who is pregnant. He is pregnant with God's ideas and actions. it's not sacrilegious because I actually really care about this. Here's a video I made about pregnant Harry Potter. He had to swallow one of Voldemort's Horcruxes in order to save the world. He then became pregnant from the Horcrux. Obviously.
He'd find every Horcrux, he said, with no glee, and put every one deep up inside of me. Brave Potter, his heart was in flux. Brave Potter made love to Voldy's Horcrux. Now pregnant Potter was full head to shoe. Nowhere could be found the Dark Lord, you know who.
You know, I keep making videos, I keep trudging along and making videos, but this one for some reason is always my most popular video. For some reason people come back to it over and over and over again, and I can never top it. Sometimes when I'm hanging out with new friends, I bring them cookies or sandwiches that I made. My friend told me that this is actually my curse because these specific relationships never actually work out. But I brought you something. I want you to eat this virtual cookie. So all you gotta do is go and open your mouth and pretend like you're eating it. So go. And then drink some milk. Go, 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 go. Finish it. Go, 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 go. Good job. This one is private. I can't tell you. Maybe if I know you for years, I'll tell you, but I can't tell you now. There is an alternative universe where you and I are doing the exact same thing as we're doing right now, give or take some minor details. However, the one unifying aspect in that alternate universe is that neither of us have pubic hair. And it's my fault. When I was a kid, I prayed to God that he would put me in a hyperbolic time chamber, pin me to the walls, and for 30 seconds let in tiny fairies that would rip out all the unwanted hair that I'd ever have in all of my life. It would be the most excruciating pain I would ever feel. However, I would never have to deal with hair I didn't want ever again. The thing is, in this universe, that wish did not get granted. However, in that other universe, every 1,000 years, one person's wish to God is granted. However, God doesn't have the same power that we think he does. He basically grants that one wish, but he grants it for everybody. It's like a blanket wish. So he also took all of us and put us into a hyperbolic time chamber and ripped out all the hair that we'd ever have for 30 seconds by tiny little fairies. And so none of us have hair there. And it's a great shame. And I regret it in that other world, and I understand if you're angry with me. The only good thing about that alternate universe reality is that body hair shame is non-existent anymore, because everybody saw how traumatic that was, that 30 seconds of pure pain. And so all the new generations that ended up getting hair were like, thank goodness we have it. Thank goodness. We are, of course, all traumatized and will never have hair again. But the newer generations celebrate being a little bit furry. Did I kind of do a good thing? I won't go that far. And I'm sorry that I did that to us. I didn't know. I literally didn't know. Tights, in my opinion, are hotter than bare legs because they hint at a portal from another dimension. You can either have raw leg, or you can have flesh glowing from underneath fabric. I can't talk about what this one's about. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy, And there ain't no place I'm going to. Hey, Mista Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you. There used to be websites called shock sites where you could see bad things happen to people. When I was around 17, I used to go on 9gag and 4chan a lot, and I heard about this one viral video that was on all these shock sites, and I went and looked for it. It was really disturbing, and I can still remember it, and I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I actually found it and watched it again, and I was very struck by the intense feelings I had. But I don't know what to do with all of these thoughts. I drew out all the frames of the video, and now I feel like those pieces of paper are cursed. So I redrew all the frames and replaced all the people with celestial bodies. And I feel like that's even more cursed. So I don't really know what to do with all of these images in my head. I decided to ask the most powerful men in the world what I should do with all of this information. They suggested that I should monetize it. I then asked the spookiest men in the world what I should do with this information. And they said I should watch more of it. Sometimes when I have an idea or obsession, it feels like it's a beautiful, great whale in the sky. And all I have to do is like harpoon it from different angles. And once I find the perfect angle, I'll be able to like really pull it down. And once it's before me, I'll understand it a lot better. Or maybe I even pull myself up to it and I can examine it closer and get to the root of it. But I don't feel like I can bring down this whale at all. So I'm gonna leave it up there. Which disappoints me, because this was my ticket to be edgy. I thought that I would finally prove to all of you that I was edgy. But I can't do it. I made a survey, an edginess survey. I sent it to all my patrons and asked them questions about edginess, whether they found edginess sexually attractive, whether they looked for edginess in a partner, if they thought that they were edgy, if they ever thought that some jokes were okay and some jokes weren't okay, what kind of horror that they liked. And my last question was, do you think that Maya is edgy? And most people said no. Or the people that did say maybe or yes were like, well, if being artistic is edgy, then she is edgy. Which is pity. I was pitied, but I accept it. I appreciate my patrons for being honest. I sent it to friends and they were also honest as well. Nobody thinks I'm edgy, and that's fine. Many years ago, I had an ex who was cousins with a man who was dating the most beautiful woman that I've ever seen in my life. I thank God that she still posts on social media so that I can look after her. Just check in. See how she's doing. See the new bathing suits. She recently had a firstborn son. She was beautiful before. Tall, elven-like, glowing from the inside like honey. But something happened after she had her firstborn son. She became skinny again, but then she had bonus big boobs after that. What do you call a woman who is tall like an elven goddess, glows on the inside like honey is seeping from her skin, has bonus big boobs, and has proven her fertility? An abomination. I drew her as an iceberg. And then I drew her as a fire sprite. And then I drew her as Mother of the Universe. She has a very muscular husband. And I don't think that I could defeat a very muscular husband. Some of that aesthetic brawn must translate over to some sort of strength, right? However, do you remember at the beginning of this video, I said one of my biggest strengths was speed? I don't think I could defeat him with brawn, but there's a chance I could defeat him in a foot race, which might tip the scales in my favor. In the next few weeks, I'm going to post some running videos on Instagram, and I need you all to comment in support so she sees how powerful I am. Something like, even as a man, I couldn't compete with your speed. Something like that. Thank you! Have you done anything feminist today? I'm about to turn things up. I'm about to set a record and do something incredibly feminist. Something that no woman has done before. Around 10 years ago, there was a trend on YouTube where people were trying to go full Super Saiyan in their YouTube videos. And from what I found, no women did that. So I thought, hey, why don't I give it a go? Why don't I try to go Super Saiyan? But I'm gonna need your support. Do you remember those cookies that I gave you and that you ingested in front of my eyes with milk? This was actually a social experiment. There are tiny nanobots in each of those cookies that you ingested with your eyes. And now I have the potential to mind control you. If I were to flip this over and press this red button, I'd be able to control your minds. But I'm not gonna do that. I want you to support me out of your own free will. I'm just saying that you fell for the social experiment. And so I need your support to help me go Super Saiyan. That means do not laugh when I am trying to power up and I'm gathering energy from the universe. Support me with your mind and send me your own power as well. It's not too much to ask, it's a very hard thing to do, and you've never seen something like this happen before. This is going to be a new record. If you don't, I might have to make you, but I'd like you to work with me. I'd like you to support me. Are you ready? Are Are you ready? I might not go full Super Saiyan, I might not even go half Super Saiyan. You might just see a small little glimpse. But I want you to pay close attention, okay? And support me. My name is Maya. And I'm a Super Saiyan. This is the part of the video where I thank my patrons and simply indulge in whatever I want. So I'm going to talk about a cute thrifted dress I got recently and show off some tights I've been collecting. I was recently dramatically telling my mom that my biggest fashion regret is that I didn't buy this black dress I tried on at Value Village. I didn't write down the designer, so I couldn't find it anywhere. I decided on a whim to post the dress on Reddit, and someone found it within the first hour. I bargained it down so it was even cheaper than the Value Village price. Yes! It came in the mail, and my life is complete. It's a really good base to make goth outfits with. Here's me with some bloomers and the cute tights I've been collecting. Anyways, most of my Patreon is just me trying on kind of cute, sexy costumes and talking about art and my thoughts about hotness. So subscribe if you want me to send you a hand-drawn postcard and fake Iron Maiden tickets. Here are all the subreddits that I've been banned from. Cringe, The Eric Andre Show, Fantasy, Morbid Reality, Witches vs. Patriarchy, World Building, Feminism, Socialism, Gardening, PewDiePie Submissions, Cosplay Girls, Gaming for Gamers, Furry Art School, Furry, Jacksepticeye, Anime Art, Nostalgia, Girl Gamers, WTF, Yif Comics, and many more.